Hey guys, how are you? Hope everybody's doing good. Still out here on Padre Island, but I'm leaving today. It's been raining for 4 days now. I think today's day number 5 of the rain, so I'm getting out here. My battery's about gone in my solar generators, so I'm gonna try and get out here. It could be a little bit of an adventure. The water level's real high, the tide's high. So it could be an adventure. We're gonna give it a shot. I'll give you a peek here. The Gulf of Mexico is angry. So we're gonna give it a try. See if we can get out of here today. It's about a 4-hour drive. When I came in here, it might take me a little longer today. I don't know, but we'll see. And if it gets too bad, I'll just turn back around and come back here on high ground. So we'll see you soon. I'll take some video along the way. Now be sure and watch the video all the way to the end. I've got a pro tip of the day for you. Clear at the end. The video starts out just skimming the edge of the water. As the trip progresses, it slowly gets worse and it turns into an adventure. Many miles driving in the water. Yes, in the ocean. At the very end, I'll just say that the water was higher than my front bumper. Got 60 miles of this to go. Tide's very high. Along our journey, you're going to see a man rapidly packing up his tent. A group of diehard folks out having a cookout, and yeah, it smelled pretty darn good. I was starved at the time. A pretty good sized group of people that were camping, and their tents were all flooded and they were trying to get things put away. There was a motorhome sitting in a bad place, and there was some stuff piled up outside of it that looked like had been burned, so maybe there was a fire inside that motorhome earlier. But that looked like a bad situation. And there towards the end, there was a guy in a 2-wheel drive van just sitting there. I waved to him as he went by and he gave me the thumbs up, so I guess everything was okay. If you've ever stood on the beach with the waves going, you know how it kind of washed the sand out from under your feet. So, driving through that, I didn't want to stop, so I just kept on going. But I'm sure he was okay. If he needed help, I'm sure he would have let me know. From what I saw, with the people out there, is maybe the tide came in real fast and caught people off guard, because there were people out there that looks like they're in the middle of doing something, and all of a sudden they must have got caught up in the tide coming in. Now there are some side roads that come onto the beach. I'm sure some of these people came in on those side roads and didn't drive, you know, the way I came. But I don't know how you would get onto those side roads. I believe there's several areas through there where you pay to camp, and maybe those campgrounds, that's access roads for them to get to the beach. I don't know. That's just a guess. Now, in complete contrast to today's adventure, when I drove in there 2 weeks ago, it was, you know, beautiful sunny day, open beaches. Now, if you haven't seen the video of the 60-mile entry into Padre Island, I'll leave a link in the description. Well, we've done 5 miles. 55 more to go. Well, I hope you enjoy the video. Tried to keep the length down, but I had 3 hours, well actually 3.5 hours of footage recorded, and I wanted to give you a good feeling of what this adventure was like. The journey ended up taking me 4.5 hours, and that's 4.5 hours of driving, 10, 20 miles an hour at the most for 60 miles in very adverse conditions. I fast forwarded a lot of this footage just simply to keep the time down, and it all pretty much looks the same, but I wanted to give you a good feel for miles and miles and miles of just adverse driving conditions. I also didn't include a lot of footage. I had 3.5 hours of footage recorded. Now, I'm sure that for those local diehard fishermen, this may be no big deal, but I do need to give caution to people coming out here driving Padre Island at high tide during stormy weather. You could get yourself in quite the predicament. It's hard to get a cell signal. I could only get a cell signal, I think once, maybe twice on the whole trip, except for at the end I could pick one up if I stood on top of the sand dune. But, on this trip, if you need help, you're not going to be able to call anybody more than likely. And you may not see anybody drive by to flag down for help. I really do hope you enjoy the video, and I'll go ahead and give you a little music now. Post, 50 miles to go. We've gone 10 miles. Definitely don't like being up here with all the debris the ocean brings in. To get a flat tire or run over something. Hello, hello. Well, we're about 15 miles in, and the going's pretty rough. A lot of areas there's just not much beach to drive in. A lot of wet sand, a lot of water. Like I say, the Gulf of Mexico, she's angry today. But I'm gonna keep it on moving. I'm just gonna take a look at things. Found a little bit of a dry place to stop. There's the 45-mile marker, so we've got 45 miles to go. There's just not a lot of beach. Something I want to mention too is I never did air down my tires. I've got an air down kit. I've got 2 air compressors, so I was prepared to do it, but I didn't want to unless I really needed to, because my air compressors are pretty slow and it just would have taken a long time to air them back up. But I never did need to air down, so that would save me a little time coming out. The 40-mile marker, 40 miles to go. Know what this is. It's got outhouse. I don't know. Look at that ocean roaring. Mark 35 more miles to go. 5 more miles till the halfway point. And now, a little funky music for you. Can you dig it? I don't know, I think I like that funky music better than the sound of these wiper blades. What do you think, baby? What do you think? Turn it up. Put that groove on and then turn it up. Well, here's the 30-mile marker. We're halfway there. The halfway point. Look at that. Look at that. Not much shoreline to drive on. Did you pick up on that apprehension in my voice? Yeah, I was apprehensive. Just pulled over here to take a look at things and make sure everything looks okay. And everything looked alright. The only problem I had on this trip was one of the running board trim pieces fell off somewhere along the trip. I didn't notice it until the next day. Can't remember what our last mile marker was, so I don't know what this one is. Mile marker 25 more miles. We're getting there. Looks like we've got another vehicle up here. It's the first one I've seen on this journey back. This guy was packing up his tent in a hurry, and he waved hello as I went by, a big smile on his face. Are you missing that funky music? I know you are. Marker 20 coming up, 20 miles to go. We've gone 40, 20 to go. Looks like we've got some more people up here. We must be getting closer to civilization. What these guys are doing. You know, one thing they're doing, they're cooking. It smells pretty good. More people. Looks like their tents are getting wet. Dang, it's not funny actually. Mile marker 15. was a little rough. At least there's not as much trash in through here. That's kind of nice. Are you getting kind of tired of that funky music? Now coming up here where the cones are is one of those side roads I mentioned earlier. They've got it blocked off, and looks like they're putting some wood planks down, so they're kind of building that up a little bit. More miles to go. This last part here, last 10 miles, it starts getting a little more sketchy. Well guys, we're almost there. I think we're about 10 miles away from the end, from the beginning. It's been a rough trip. I'm glad I did it. It's been a good adventure. Got seaweed. Got seaweed hanging. Mr. Yukon It's gonna need a good bath, get all this salt washed off. Look at all this salt. Seaweed hanging. Here comes a die-hard fisherman. Like a great place for a motorhome. Looks like they have a little fire. Five more miles to go. And I'm hungry. I need a hamburger. Way out, I'm gonna stop and get rid of my trash. After 2 weeks out on the beach camping, I accumulated a little trash. First 5 miles of beach they take care of, they keep it graded. After that they have a sign warning you that it's unmaintained and 4-wheel drive required, high clearance vehicles. That's why you see the speed limit signs. A lot more people normally on this part of the beach. Today's a Monday. It's been, this is the 5th day of stormy weather. I think tomorrow the sun's supposed to start coming out. So yeah, the beach isn't too busy today. Now coming up here is the guy I mentioned earlier, just sitting in his van. I don't know if he got caught by that high tide and he's waiting for it to go down, but he indicated to me he was okay, so I didn't want to stop and get stuck myself. And of course, if he flagged me down indicating he needed some help, I sure would have stopped and given him a hand. Coming up on the end right here. Unless we get washed away right here. Now be sure to watch the video all the way to the very end for that pro tip of the day. Here we are at the end of the line. 60 miles in, 60 miles out. 60 miles in was a beautiful, sunny, warm day. 60 miles out was a true adventure. Pretty deep. And there we are, back on pavement. Time to throw some trash away. Well, here we are. We're going to go over the bridge that connects Padre Island to the mainland. I really do appreciate y'all watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you haven't seen the part 1 video, the video of me driving into Padre Island, I'll put the link in the description. You can definitely compare this trip to the one when I came in. Quite different. Now, if you're not already a subscriber, I hope you would consider subscribing and following me in my journey. And be sure and like the video. It helps me a little bit. Thank you very much. As I mentioned a couple times, I'm ready for a hamburger. So my first objective when I get back to civilization is to get a hamburger. Then I need to get gas. I've got about a 1/16 of a tank of gas, so I need to get some gas. And I'm going to spend the night at Cracker Barrel. And tomorrow I'm going to go to the Selena Museum for my granddaughters. I'm making a little video about that. So that's a dedication for my granddaughters to enjoy. Now, you heard me mention the 1/16 tank of gas. I went into that Padre Island drive with a full tank, and I think my tank is like 32 gallons. Oh, and here we're exiting to go get a hamburger. But anyway, back to gasoline. Be sure when you drive Padre Island you have a full tank of gas. Now, I'm positive that driving in the water like that took a lot of extra gas, but if I wouldn't have went in there with a full tank of gas, drove 60 miles in and come back out, I definitely would have run out of gas, no doubt in my mind. I was getting a little bit concerned there towards the end of the trip, but yeah, be prepared. Go with a full tank of gas. That's all I'm going to say on that. Full tank of gas. Now, you would think, I have a 32 gallon tank. It was full. 60 miles in, 60 miles out. Maybe 10 miles from the gas station. So 130 miles on 32 gallons of gas. You'd think that'd be plenty. But I was cutting it close. So the pro tip of the day, full tank of gas. And here's the next morning at Cracker Barrel, getting fueled up for a day of Selena Museum. Go check that video out too if you haven't seen it. Thank you.